What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure and like and subscribe and to the channel as you come in and check out the content. With that being said, man, I want to talk about Steph Curry and the situation with Steph Curry and him splitting up from Under Armour, right? And I said this before in a live podcast. I think that Steph Curry Under Armour signed Steph Curry, hoping that Steph Curry would have the same type of effect on Under Armour that Michael Jordan did with Nike. You know, they wanted to, they wanted to rise in basketball the same way, Mike elevated Nike. And I think that it was unrealistic, in my opinion, for you know, for Under Armour to think that was, like even though Steph Curry, in my opinion, he's a generational talent as far as like his shooting and stuff like that. But he just wasn't Mike. Mike is like Michael Jordan is a one-off, like his charisma, the way he played on the court, and I have heard people say that Michael Jordan was like the most like aesthetically pleasing person to watch. Like he just had style and he was just he was just a flashy guy to watch on the court with his moves and stuff like that. I've never seen anybody, probably besides Dr. J, Julius Irvin, who had that type of swag on the court at that Mike, like the tongue, the way he walked, the way he dunked and stuff like that. Nobody had that type of charisma, that type of swag on the court like what Mike had. So that's that right there. You just couldn't duplicate that or manufacture that, just because Steph Curry could shoot. And I was listening to Rob Parker talk about Steph Curry and his situation with Under Armour, right? And Rob Parker made some very good points. Rob Parker from what are they from the Odd Couple, right? And he made some very good points too, man. That I want to listen to, and I want to come back and comment on because Steph Curry just wasn't Mike. And if Under Armour was trying to to recreate that, they should have knew they was gonna fall on their face. But let's listen to Rob Parker talk about Steph Curry and Under Armour, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give some of my comments.
World really 13 years ago when he made that partnership with Under Armour. A lot of people, he started to become one of the best players in the world, MVPs. You kind of thought
because he was with Nike originally for 4 years.
Exactly.
Right?
You typically thought, stick with Nike, some crazy big deal would come, but he actually went to Under Armour and has been there for 13 years. And they decided to split. They're saying that it was mutual.
Right.
If you kind of read into it,
you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that Steph Curry was with Nike. And if Nike let him go, then that right there should have been a sign.
They said for Under Armour, this moment is about discipline and focus on the core of their brand during a critical stage.
We don't want
turnaround.
you, Steph.
Yeah, we don't. And they mentioned how they wanted to get more of the market share for a company that's worth $5 billion. They only get $100 million in shoes. And they're like, thought they could be able to get some more. For Curry, he said, what Curry brand stands for, what I stand for, my commitment to that mission will never change. It's only growing stronger. I'm excited for a future that's focused on aggressive growth with a continued commitment to keep showing up for the next generation. So they're splitting in part ways. So 13-year relationship now over. Curry can do what he wants, go where he do, as he chooses, and continues to build the brand. And Under Armour is going to try to grow their brand separately from him now.
I take away two things from this. A, Steph Curry didn't make a dent in the shoe game, right?
Mm-hmm.
As popular as Steph Curry was, whatever you want to say, with all the little kids wanting to shoot threes and be Steph Curry, they weren't buying his shoes. So that to me, that's a fact. And you remember the first pair of shoes he came out with looked like nurses' shoes. They were the big white ones.
13s.
They were terrible. That's what they were.
Was the Kaiser Permanente, them Cedar Sinai 6s.
Am I right? They were terrible, Kelvin. They were bad. They looked like big
Hall monitor
clumsy.
5s.
Yeah.
Remember the hall monitor. The dude watch you in high school, him a hall monitor 6s.
They were bad.
Cedar Sinai 6s is crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. But look, and part of that is Under Armour fault, right? The tennis shoes that they made for Steph Curry was just terrible, right? But again, and when you talk about like players who change the game, this just evidence that it's not enough to just change the game. Because remember, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar changed the game, but he didn't have like a signature, anything that nobody went out and bought, right? It's not just about changing the game. It's about being relatable to people and having people like having that type of swag and that type of aura around you that's going to captivate people, and people just going to want to be like you. And that's what that, be like Mike. Steph Curry, I don't know. He just not Mike, man. And they Under Armour didn't help him at all. They didn't do him any favors at all by putting him in a bunch of ugly sneakers. I've never seen any of those sneakers that I wanted. And so, but let me get back to some more of what Rob Parker is saying about the situation.
That's awesome.
And he didn't write that. I mean, he
had them St. Joseph 3s. I'm telling you,
no, that was
Providence,
pretty good.
The Providence 5s were crazy.
But so it tells me two things.
The Kaiser 7s.
Kaiser 7s, is that it? That one too?
Yeah, we all were like, wait, Steph, come on, Steph. Did you approve this stuff?
I know.
Did you sneak it out without you looking?
Did you see these and you thought people were going to buy them? I was like, I remember like what a big deal it was, Steph's signature shoe. And
because he was like this. It was his moment, right? Unanimous MVP, and he was just becoming this guy. Well, a little bit before that, but he was becoming the guy, and then.
But here's the other part. Steph's not as big as impact on basketball outside of the threes. And what I mean by, we know about being the all-time three maker and all that and revolutionizing the game from the standpoint of everybody wanting to take threes. But for them not to have some lifetime deal like the way Michael Jordan did, right? Because Michael, remember, became independent. Air Jordan became a brand from Nike. Yeah. Okay, this is what Curry wanted, was his own brand from Under Armour, right?
Yeah.
And they said, nah, we'll pass on that. And you just talked about it. The numbers never really made a dent in the sneaker business. And I think that they looked at that and go, Steph is not going to sell. I don't care if he's in control of it or what, not going to sell sneakers. And we're not going to just give away money and have a lifetime contract or whatever. And I think that's a reflection of Steph not being able to really connect to all these people who supposedly love him. And and it's weird. LeBron's the same way. Like, his sneaker never really did anything. Too big, too clumsy, am I right? I mean, Kelvin, I even had a pair.
Yeah,
they were just too big.
They were too big.
I probably have a few of LeBron James sneakers, right? And they are big and clumsy and bulky. Some of them look good, but like if you're trying to really play basketball in them, they just like playing in boots.
But they did all right. He had a few years that did well.
But not great.
Kobe's obviously did well. I'm just kind of naming some shoes that have done well, because the question becomes like, I mean, who kills it aside from Jordan? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I get that, but yeah. Steph is the guy that all these like if anybody should have been able to grow a brand.
I'm agreeing with you,
right? It's Steph Curry. All of those kids who were 5 and 6 and whatever. Ian, you know what I'm talking about? Like, he was the guy. Ian, how old are you? 20 what?
I'm 25, and I grew up watching Steph Curry as a Warriors fan.
You know that from the Bay Area.
That's my guy, absolutely. But like also, and I'm trying to.
Let me just say this, right? And see, that's what I'm talking about when I say like Steph Curry didn't have that. And let's not even talk about Michael Jordan, like Allen Iverson. Like when Allen Iverson came out with those sneakers, the ones, I mean, the answers, right? Man, those Allen Iverson sneakers just was flying off the shelves. You know, everybody liked those shoes, and they wasn't big and bulky. You know, like those Allen Iverson shoes just was a beast. Now, Reebok, even though Reebok hit a home run with Allen Iverson and those shoes, they still couldn't keep up with Nike and Michael's Air Jordans. That's, you know, and Allen Iverson, even to this day, like if I go into a store and I see those Allen Iverson shoes, if I might see them those in a different color than what I already have, I'll get them, right? Those Reebok hit a home run with those shoes and still couldn't compete with Nike. So and Under Armour didn't do any favors for Steph Curry by putting him in those shoes that look like, you know, like nurses' shoes. They didn't do him any favor. Then on top of that, Steph Curry didn't do them any favors because he didn't have the type of swag that like Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan had. Right. I think that had Allen Iverson been with Nike and Nike would have given him a tennis shoe, I don't know that it would have competed with Mike, but I know it would have been a big seller because he did it with Reebok, right? I didn't know Steph Curry was with Nike, but I think Nike would have given Steph Curry a better shoe. I'm sure that Nike would have given him a better shoe than what they gave, than what Under Armour gave him. So some of the blame goes to Steph Curry because he's not Allen Iverson, he's not Michael Jordan. And a lot of that blame goes to Under Armour because they think just because he's Steph Curry, you know, people just gonna buy the shoe. You could put you know, any old ugly shoe out there, and it didn't work. It didn't work. You know, that it was Under Armour, in my opinion, that dropped the ball on that. It wasn't Steph Curry. They should have had somebody come in there to develop. You know, they had years to do this. He was with them for 13 years. And they never got, you know, they never set him up with a shoe that, you know, people was like, you know, that caught people eye, you know. And for a smaller, you know, when you have a smaller guy who wear, you know, like those big, like Michael Jordan, probably his feet, I don't know what size shoe he wear, but the bigger your feet is, you know, like you don't want those shoes to be bulky like that. You want them to look like more like streamlined. So, you know, you could wear them like without, even if you're not playing basketball, like you can wear Michael Jordans or you can wear those Allen Iverson with jeans and stuff like that or shorts, and they just don't look big and bulky like, you know. But those shoes that they made for this guy, Steph Curry, man. So, and now that Steph Curry is not with Under Armour, I don't know that he'll go back with Nike. Nike really don't need him. You know, he probably need Nike. Nike know that he's not going to sell. You know, like if Nike wanted to put him in a shoe, it'd be more so like they doing him a favor. If they wanted to put him in a shoe and market it, they could do that. I don't know. Nike, that's an interesting question. Would Nike do it? You know, Nike don't really need Steph Curry. You know, Steph Curry is close to retiring, you know, and he don't have that type of off the court persona that, you know, he don't have that type of off the court persona that Mike and Allen Iverson have or Kobe Bryant have. You know, he kind of just laid back. You know, he's not like Magic Johnson or something like that. So, you know, he not. I don't know that Nike's gonna give him a shoe. So we'll see. But I thought Rob Parker made some good points that he just don't have that type of charisma, man, that draws people to him. You know, besides, you know, just shooting that 3-point shot. Even though he revolutionized the game, he still don't have that connection with people that Allen Iverson did, you know. And so that's interesting. And yeah, that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'll check y'all out in the next video. Peace.